Have you ever watched a horror movie and thought, thank God that wasn't real? Well, that is not the case with the horror movie franchise I'm going to be talking about today. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, I am a horror artist and I like to whittles what I talk about. So in other words, I like to draw what I talk about in this video, and it's usually a true crime, scary fact, or conspiracy. Now, nothing in this video is meant to be insensitive to the victims or the victim's family. I'm just simply bringing you information that I have found on the internet. I will be accountable for the art that I draw, but if you are sensitive, I recommend not watching my channel. With that being said, let's get on with the video. The movie that I am talking about today is Jeepers Creepers, a 2001 horror movie. This movie was inspired by a real-life killer named Dennis DePue. This man was dubbed the Creeper, and I'm going to tell you why. On the 15th of April 1990, a brother and sister named Ray and Marie Thornton were driving on an isolated stretch of road called Snowperry Road in Coldwater, Michigan. Now this resembles the opening scene in Jeepers Creepers when a brother and sister, Darry and Trish, are driving along a quiet road to get home after finishing school for the semester to visit their parents. Ray and Marie then found a van, a green 1984 Chevy truck, coming up awfully fast behind them and then overtakes them. They noticed the number plate said GZ, and the funniest thing is that the Thorntons were playing the number plate game like Darry and Trish were playing in the movie. In the movie, they see the number plate as "Be Eating You," which they interpret as "beating you." As the Thorntons kept driving, not thinking any more of the incident, a few minutes later, they soon pass an abandoned school. And what did they see? The same van that overtook them was pulled up at the school, and a man carrying what appeared to be a human-shaped object wrapped in a blood-soaked sheet. He was apparently carrying the body to dispose of behind the school, but the man noticed Ray and Marie watching what he was doing. They kept driving to find a phone to call police and report what they had just witnessed. But before this could happen, the same van was back up behind them and tailgating them very intimidatingly for several kilometers. Ray finally turned off the highway onto a side street to let the van go. After having a bit of a breather, they decided to pull out and continue on their way. This is when they found the man, and the van had pulled up on the side of the road, and he was changing the number plates to a completely different set. And the other disturbing thing that they noticed, the passenger side door was covered in blood, and so was the interior. What they didn't realize is they had just witnessed Dennis, 46 years old at the time, disposing of his wife's body, 48-year-old Marilyn, after he shot and killed her with a blow to the head. He had shot his wife in revenge after she filed for divorce in 1989, after being together for 18 years. Unfortunately for all you horror sickos out there, the beginning of the movie is the only thing that was inspired by true events, and no, Dennis did not go on to eat people's body parts such as eyeballs and whatnot to regenerate after laying dormant for 23 years at a time, to then feast for 23 days straight, slaughtering anyone that had any body parts that he wanted. Sorry to burst your bubble. There was then a manhunt to capture Dennis DePue. After an episode of the case aired on Unsolved Mysteries in 1991, reenacting the events from the Thornton story, Dennis committed suicide because he knew he was a wanted man and the police were out looking for him. Dennis and Marilyn left behind 3 children. Now, let's backpedal and let's go back through from the beginning to the events that led up to this disturbing murder of his wife, so you get a little bit of an insight into what was going on with information that I have researched. Don't shoot the messenger, and if there is any added details that you know of, by all means, list them in the comment below. Now, leading up to the murder, there was apparently a lot of tension in their marriage, and Dennis was quite abusive, allegedly. He became very withdrawn and accused Marilyn of turning their children against him. When Marilyn filed for divorce, she stated that Dennis was trying to ruin her life and that she was extremely unhappy. He also had only bi-weekly visitation rights to his children, but they really wanted nothing to do with him. Dennis would try to control the family from the guest house that he was only allowed into for his business purposes. So Marilyn even then changed the locks in the home, but he still managed to gain access into the house and was just being a complete creeper. On Easter Sunday, the 15th of April 1990, he went to the home to pick up his kids, but they refused to go with him, so he got angry at Marilyn and pushed her down the stairs and then beat her repeatedly until she was unconscious. Their children were apparently so distraught and were screaming at their father to stop. The oldest daughter ran to the neighbours to call the police. He then carried their mother out and told the remaining children that he was taking her to the hospital. This never happened. After dumping her body, days later, Dennis started sending weird letters to family and friends to try and justify Marilyn's death, and they just didn't make sense. He was also sending them from different states around America. He was on the run and just moving around a lot, so no one could find him. It wasn't until the 19th of March, 1991, that Dennis's life started to unravel and the past was finally catching up with him. Dennis was with another woman in Texas named Mary, and now at this point in time, Dennis was going by another alias, Hank Queen. And on this particular night of the Unsolved Mysteries episode, he kept her busy in the kitchen while it was on, so she didn't watch the television and see the case unfold. But Mary knew that there was something up with him, as she had apparently hired a private investigator to look into his background. But apparently the investigator came up with nothing. But on the night of the episode airing, he was acting extremely weird. Now, once the episode had finished, Dennis, or Hank as he was known to Mary, told her that he had an emergency that he had to tend to back home. Apparently, he said his mother was ill. So he packed his bags and he left. After he left, Mary realized his name was really Dennis, and that his activities were on the Unsolved Mysteries show. One of Mary's friends had actually rung the hotline to dob him in with his current Texas license plates, so they knew what they were looking for, and the cops were on alert all around the state and all neighboring states as well. So Dennis made his way to Louisiana, and that's when a Louisiana police officer spotted the van and attempted to pull him over, but he led police on a 30-kilometer pursuit before coming to a stop after the police had shot his back tires out. Dennis fired shots back at the police officers, but at around 4 a.m. in the morning, he decided to turn the gun on himself and commit suicide. Now, getting back to the beginning of the Jeepers Creepers movie, apparently the Unsolved Mysteries episode reenactment was a dead ringer for the beginning of the movie, but the director Victor Salva credits Steven Spielberg's Duel movie for the inspiration, but people are questioning this because it's an apparent absolute dead ringer, and near rip-off of the Unsolved Mysteries episode. So what do you think about this case? What is your opinion on all of it? Is there more information that that you have that I didn't read out? Let me know in the comments below. Like, this guy was just an absolute maniac and must have been a disturbed human being right from the beginning. But getting back to the movie, I'm a massive fan of the Jeepers Creepers franchise, except for the last one, the most recent movie, when they changed the look of Jeepers Creepers, and it was a bit terrible. I hate it when they change the monster look, and I just was not happy with it. Like, there was parts of the latest movie that I didn't mind. I think it's called Reborn. Yeah, it's called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. That was, yeah, most of that was terrible. Like, I absolutely loved the first one. I even liked the second one. The third one was okay, but the fourth one was just not good. And it sort of left a bad taste in my mouth because of how good the first one was and the second one. And it really left a bad taste in my mouth from changing the look of the monster. Well, I reckon he does not look as terrifying in Reborn as he did in the first one. I've been having this thought for a couple of years with my partner. Me and him have decided that one year we are going to tackle a Jeepers Creepers statue, or sort of like a what do you call it? Like a mannequin type thing for Halloween, and actually put it out the front of our house. Yeah, with the head from the original one, of course. I was going to, or maybe I might do a video in the future on trying to make or design his head, and then putting the big mannequin together, and then putting it up for one Halloween. I don't know. That's a big job, but my partner is willing to help me. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure. I'm not like 100% sold on doing it, but I would like to, and in theory it sounds like a brilliant idea, but in practice it just sounds like a complete clusterfuck. But anyway, I will see how I go. That's all I can promise you in the future for that, if you're interested in me doing that at all, and showing you the processes of designing a massive Jeepers Creepers mannequin thing, whatever you want to call it, life size. Basically the part where he's on the wooden stake cross thing and he's in the cornfields, that terrifying moment. I think that's in the second movie, I can't remember now. But yeah, just trying to recreate that. So the illustration that I have done for this video today is I tried to make this creepy monster human type hybrid being. I tried to sort of make it resemble Dennis DePue a little bit in the face and the head, just sort of having some exaggerated characteristics, just to portray that this horrible man is a monster. And what he did to his family is horrendous. And I added some bits and pieces on him, like he's got different body parts attached to him to sort of replicate the Jeepers Creepers regeneration. And then I gave him like these sort of like wings, trying to sort of, or I don't know what they are, but I just sort of felt like drawing this in this way, or these spikes sort of coming up, but they sort of do turn into wings and sort of launch out. He's just made up of different body parts. You know, he's got 2 different arms, he's got 1 different leg, but yeah, he's horrible. And he's also got a gunshot wound to the head, which is not deterring him, basically showing what he allegedly done to his wife. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video, as morbid and horrible as it is with these true crime cases. Hopefully you liked the illustration that I did to complement the story and my inspiration and my portrayal of the incident, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.